Did I know at that very minute? I'm not too sure, but I was at a showroom in UK, in a place called Bournemouth, which they say is the Monte Carlo of England. Don't believe it. But anyway, I was at this showroom, and a friend of mine was selling reproduction furnishings, very English, 18th century. I was amazed at the quality of what they were doing, so that gave me an incline. I said, oh, there's something here that I didn't want to recreate what they had done, but it gave me something, well, maybe this is something I could do. And it just so happened, the same friend, when I moved to Madrid, because I've lived in Spain off and on, he happened to come over to Madrid, and he said, Chris, could you help translate for me in a store I'm going to see? So I said, yeah, sure. So he went into this store, and in this store, during my second visit to the store, with the same friend, there were some mirrors on the wall, and they were from a company called Cellini, which is Cellini. We would probably say Cellini. And I admired them. What they did were fabulous. And I said to the store manager, how much are they cost? They told me the price. I said, really? So I thought, I went back to Marta, who was my girlfriend, and who I'd also met in Spain. And I said, Marta, ya sé que vamos a hacer. I said, now I know what we're going to do. She said, ¿qué? I said, we're going to make the finest mirror company in the world. And that's how it came about. I think the very first set was pretty much a disaster, simply because we got the finishing done in Spain, and I could see immediately this was never going to work. So I think that was February 1993. And by July, I said, look, either stop this venture, or I'm just going to have to sit in this village for a few years and get this thing sorted out. So I started in a little village called Jepara in Indonesia. Spent 5 years there really learning the trade, learning how to finish, and actually inventing how to finish, because there's no book that says guide you how to gild a mirror frame, unless it's really on a small scale. So I learned a little bit of that, and then finally I moved to Semarang, which is the capital of Central Java in Indonesia, during the financial crisis, 1998. And it allowed me to acquire a lot of land, because the local currency had dropped so much against the US dollar. It just allowed me to acquire land. Christopher Guy, the brand, only started 11 years ago, because we were really concentrating more on decorative furnishings before that, and then it went into a much more grander lifestyle. So CG today incorporates a heavy accessories line, particularly in the mirror frames, as well as the lifestyle collection, which is the chairs, sofas, tables, etc., etc. Our industry was one of the last industries to change. Every country had its own very localized look. A lot of things that you would say your grandparents would have had in their house. And really overnight, in China, China was a company that initially embraced what was coming from the West, the more 18th century Western culture. And it started about 6 years ago. It totally transformed in China. The market went completely contemporary in every respect. And it's the same thing you can see with the antiques market. Good luck to anyone who's selling antiques today. And the same thing with classic furniture. So classic furniture, whichever nation it may be borrowed from, it just was wiped out by contemporary furniture. We as a company had to adapt. So that was one adaptation that we had to make. So I would take anything what I would call too busy outdoor design, I'd clean them up. So I think at one point we had 300 carvers working on site, and now we're down to around 50 carvers, despite having a larger business. That's the amount of carving that has been taken out. So now it's all about form. So when we use carving, we use about form rather than little detail, which there is not a demand for in the market. We had to adapt and adapt and adapt, and we're still adapting. I look at my whole life as a free time, really. I enjoy it. I mean, there's always something new to learn on one's travels. And I enjoy, my workforce gives me incredible pleasure in Indonesia. So I really can't say, I always used to love sports cars, but I say now I drive like driving Miss Daisy, so it's changed. I think I learned a few lessons after having killed myself a few times. And now, so relaxation is really, it's not rushing into anything, especially if life kind of slows down, and one's happy with that. Most beautiful place, little town, Portofino, in Italy. I think you look at that and you think, well, if heaven was ever to look like something, it would look like this. And the forms of you look at the shapes, the yachts. Yachts have a perfect shape, one of the most beautiful designs by mankind. Most incredible monument I've ever seen was when I was a little boy seeing the pyramids. Most perfect design. It hasn't been improved on in terms of the pyramid design. Is just perfection as a design. I always say that the French designers of the 1920s. I think say Jacques Roumain. I think he did fabulous work. It's hard to find designers of that era that they wanted to break away from what was traditional, and so they did exceptional work. It's interesting what it happens is that it comes and it goes. Everyone has their moment, and when we talk about a legacy, how are they able to continue their legacy? Well, then you would come down to someone like Coco Chanel, but she has created design elements which are recognized as being hers. And in fact, part of that is when she, like her tweeds, was when she was with the Duke of Westminster and they went on holiday to Scotland. She was heavily influenced by the tweeds, which came to be part of her collection. Little things, and so they tend to have 3 or 4 identifiers, which when Karl Lagerfeld could come back to. Karl Lagerfeld added a couple more, including the double C and they have a great name. So I think Chanel is lucky to have had a great name, because if you didn't have a great name, it doesn't matter how good you are, people won't remember you. I think innovation, one of the challenges in the industry is that they're not making everything in-house. We make everything in-house, which can bring its own set of challenges. But by making it in-house, you're able to group everything together, you can tell a story. It's just about fine details. I always think it's like a couturier, haute couture. It's how to get the line right. And it's simple to get it, it's easier to get it wrong than it is to get it right. And I think as long as you're a company that believes that you must try harder rather than give up or burn the factory down. I think there's a few factories that could have burned down in my time. No, but what I see is you just say, look, we always have to try harder. I had to do my own thing.